What's up, guys? We're at the M&R headquarters with the CEO, Danny Sweem. How's it going, Danny?
Doing great. Good to see you, Zach.
Danny, this is easily the coolest facility I've ever been in. Over 340,000 square feet. Lots of things going on here. M&R is the only company that takes care of those 4 pillars of apparel printing. And M&R is just a very fantastic company. I would say easily the most brand loyal company, because we see a lot of shops, and blue, I mean, it is a die-hard, goes through everybody from the employees down to the customers. I don't even think you guys need a marketing team. Just let the word of mouth do it for you, Danny.
Well, I wish it were that easy, but yeah, there's a lot of credit to be given out to my predecessor, Rich Hoffman, who started the company 40 years ago. We're celebrating our 40th anniversary this year, and there's a lot of cool events that we're scheduling to highlight that and celebrate the success of the company. I'm embarking on my 7th year as the CEO, and it's the best job in the world, best job I've ever had. Pinch myself every day. And you know I'm a baseball fan, and the day I got the phone call to have an opportunity to come up was very much like the AA baseball player being called up to the major league. It was a great day. But this is a great company, great culture. We love what we do, we're passionate about it, and we love showing up and doing the job. And we got a lot of good, cool things going on in this business.
Well, we toured the facility, made a really cool video, and one thing I really took away was just everybody here has been here for a long time. Nobody leaves M&R. How do you create that culture that even goes all the way to, again, those trade shows? Everybody's supposed to be happy and so forth, but hey, M&R, even before they even knew who I was, DecoNetwork, always open arms. Hey, yeah, let's do stuff together. So just always felt like there was, from the top down, a lot of just happiness in the company. And how do you keep your team striving towards that end goal? Because it is a team, right?
Yeah, very much a team. We totally believe in that concept. You know, all of us together are way better than any one of us or a group of us as individually. We do believe in the strength of a team. And the culture is pretty strong. We all come from these different places throughout the world. I mean, we've got a large immigrant sort of pool of talent in the company from our engineering team. They're predominantly Eastern European in many cases. We've got people from just all walks of life, from Myanmar. We've got quite a few. The commonality is that we're from different places. We go to Roselle, Illinois, which is where we're at, and we make the best printing device that we possibly can, and typically that's held up as the best equipment in the marketplace. So that's our common bond, is that we are from different places contributing to something, a goal that's greater than ourselves. That was established well before I arrived. I'm the caretaker. I was fortunate enough to come in, again, 7 years ago and participate, but the culture was already in place. My job is to hold it together and keep it moving forward.
So you said M&R's been around, this is the 40th year anniversary, correct?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
And we have the 4 pillars. So what are those 4 pillars of apparel printing?
Well, we were predominantly a screen print manufacturer for many, many years, and many decades, in fact, because decorating apparel is a big deal, and it was typically always done. T-shirts, sweatshirts, where I got my start, was always done through a screen and mesh. And so that's our core business, would be screen print, right? But we've now grown into other technologies. The industry is changing to more of a just-in-time sort of business model. And print on demand is such a huge thing. I know you guys do a great job in supporting customers in all of those spaces, but print on demand is a big deal you see. So we started embarking just before I arrived. The team developed the digital squeegee platform, and so that's hybrid technology where you're combining screen print with digital technology, and now you've got the best of 2 different types of applications. That's actually the most underutilized weapon in the industry still, I believe, but that's my personal opinion. So the digital squeegee. So we had screen print, digital squeegee, or hybrid technology. DTG became a huge thing, early 2000s. And M&R really has got this interesting story. A lot of people think with the advent of the Polaris, maybe the Maverick just before that was really our first run into the digital category. But there was the iDot and a number of other sort of technologies that were developed on a smaller platform in digital. So direct to garment has been a part of our ground game for many years. We've just accelerated that into the industrial segment. So the third would be DTG. And then most recently, DTF, direct to film. I was unsure about that technology, thinking that this was something, a bit of a pickup post-COVID, as a lot of enthusiasts started decorating in their homes and in boutiques and decorating garments. Wasn't so sure that the consumer would actually embrace that technology. Boy, they did. I was wrong. That is the fastest growing element in our business today, from a growth standpoint, is direct to film. So we play hard in those 4 categories. We do lots of training. We bring our customers in. It's not just one thing to build a piece of equipment. This goes back to our origins. Mr. Hoffman believed that you build the best piece of equipment you possibly can to decorate apparel, and then you back it up with the support and the tech service componentry of it, and that's generally what we're known for. We're not as loud as maybe some people are in the industry, but we continually make a product that is consistently high quality, meets the standards, and lasts for many, many years. And then we support those customers that are buying that technology for many years thereafter. So those core principles have really helped power the company through, and will continue on for another 40 years with those sort of principles in place. Technology will change. Where it's printed will change. Geography of where products will come, whether it be domestic or goes offshore, one place or another. So the technology will change, and the fact that printing, the technology or the geography will change. But the reality of it is a printed T-shirt is a personal billboard.
Oh, it is a personal. I mean, how I got in the industry is my best friend. His dad owned a restaurant, and they would have a 2-hour wait most days. And I'm like, well, we should sell some T-shirts. Somebody's going to wait 2 hours, and like you said, it's a walking billboard. Your customer's literally paying to market you. Yeah. I mean, tell me a better way to do it. And then you're walking around the city, and somebody's like, I got to go there. Yeah. It literally is a walking billboard, but it's also, team morale. Whether we want to sell merch and brand our business, or we want to, brand our team, it's all very important, and perceived value for the company. You mentioned the DTF, because DTF has obviously been a bit of a game changer in our industry. It's had a big impact. It really has. How would you say it's affected the other decoration methods? Is it just another tool in the tool belt? Has it increased the average size of a screen print order? Because out of those 4 pillars, none of them are going anywhere at all. No, I mean, so how would you say that it's impacted those?
Well, it's impacted our entry-level printers first, I think. A lot of people would come to our booth at a trade show, and they were very interested in buying small, entry-level manual screen printing presses, exposure unit, and a dryer. Now they'll show up in the booth, that same group, same age demographic entering the market, and they can buy a DTF machine, and they can accomplish for about the same investment that they would for an entry-level screen print. They can get in through DTF. So initially, it really impacted that space first. Now we're seeing DTF being embraced by the large institutional printing groups. So it's a part of the program for many of the large printers that may have a dozen or more very large, expensive screen printing presses. That covers a segment of their business. The print-on-demand piece of this, DTF has really taken a big chunk out of that as well. So it's just morphing with the technology. I don't believe screen in textile will die. That's where I came from, though, and so I'm very biased, and I love screen print in the process. But the reality of it is it'll give away in certain segments and be replaced by DTF or DTG or hybrid technologies, which is why we have to be in all spaces.
Talk to us about automation. You brought up COVID and how some of that changed and so forth. I feel like since the pandemic, automation's become a huge thing, no matter which decoration process we're talking about. I mean, right here we have a passport. That's one less piece of hands that has to pull it off, and it's not to say that employees ever get lazy or anything, but we're human. We get sick, we go on vacation and so forth. Automation can really kind of take out some of the human error and I don't know, speed up production. I see, especially when it comes to DTF, M&R is really pushing the automation side more than any other manufacturer I've seen out there.
Well, thank you for saying that. We like to believe that as well. We work really hard, and we're very curious about what the next step is, what the next thing is. So we're constantly looking forward and saying, how can we make this better? How can we automate this? But you're right, post-COVID, things changed pretty radically for the industry and for every industry for that matter. And automating the processes is a massive piece of that. More, fulfillment, close, more just-in-time sort of fulfillment processes and practices are being incorporated. And that's created a kind of this real busy season cyclically. So as you go into the last 3 or 4 months of a year, it's radically busier in that digital side of the business more often because you're fulfilling for holiday or back to school or college football and NFL and those types of things. So that becomes our real busy season. And because of that, if you have a lot of labor attached to that, you've got to maintain your labor componentry for 3/4 of the year. That last fourth, now you got to run up with a lot of personnel. If you can automate that process, you don't have as much of an extreme sort of pressure put on your business to have to hire a bunch of people for 3 or 4 months, let them go when it gets slow again. So we try to automate that, as much as possible, take that element out, and it becomes more predictable as well, more routine, predictable. We like to say boring, that's our goal. We want that process to become a bit more boring when it gets to that busy season. So.
Well, in my 20s, you could flash any shiny thing in front of me and I'm gonna go running at it like I'm a moth running at a light. And that's one of the things I love about the industry is there's so many different revenue models and there's ways you can diversify yourself, I feel. Like we've seen a lot of, decorators really get into POD like we've just mentioned because, hey, it's gonna have some seasons and so forth, but we're just a little bit more diversified in our type of clientele and so forth. Is that something you've seen kind of change over the years a little bit?
Oh, yeah, wildly. Yeah, we've had to become more nimble and adjust to, all sorts of different ideas and, and it's very fertile ground. It's really good for us. It pushes us into areas that we've never really thought about. We think differently as a result of, the new concepts, new models to go to market. We listen, we try to incorporate that where we can. Our product management team really listens closely, works with our engineering team, and then they present to the executive team. These are ideas that have been proposed to us. What do we need to work on? And we make sure there's a good story behind that, and we develop or iterate around, that future sort of vision that our customers typically bring us. So.
You just mentioned the team, and I met quite a bit of the team over the past few hours, and I've met them at the shows, and again, everybody's very happy, welcoming. When I walked through here, it was amazing how much manufacturing from the ground up. Because sometimes it's like, are we buying some parts here and there and then just painting it blue and so forth? M&R is a manufacturer of equipment. I mean, you have engineers, electrical, every type of engineer to design from the ground up a machine. And I like to think you guys set the benchmark for each one. You don't ship garbage. It's premium is the only thing that M&R strives for. And how do you just get it from the top down or from the bottom up? How do you get everybody to just continuously keep striving for perfection and just eventually get to that Six Sigma efficiency? Because like you said, we're in a fast moving world. Customers, I'm sure they'll hit you up. I need a press yesterday. And it's amazing how different it is than when I entered the market 15 years ago or when M&R started 40 years ago. Very different world, I would think, in our industry.
Oh, wildly so. But we're a classic American company. That's what American companies do. Again, we're made up of a lot of people from all over the world, but we're a classic American company. We have to be better. We have to work harder. We take a certain amount of pride to make sure that, when it goes out of here and it has an M&R label on it, that we all stand behind that, and there's a sense of pride. And when it goes down, if there's a failure, which is inevitable, these things happen, that our job is to get it back up and going as quickly as we possibly can, and we want these things to run really, really well. So, it's the credit really on this team side of it is, really the people, the players in here. They have a personal point of pride that goes behind this equipment that you really can't replicate or mandate. They have to buy in. And we try to create an environment where it's easier enough to do that, and then they make the choice to do it. But it's people, and it's our people that do it.
And it rubs off on each other when you hold each other accountable, and you have to have chemistry. You know, we're talking about being baseball fans and so forth. You can get all the all-stars, put them on one team. That doesn't mean they're going to be successful. Everybody's got to buy in, own their role, and like you said, American company. I mean, I know you have over 5,000 parts on hand here. Again, you're welding, manufacturing. Where do you see the industry going 5-10 years? You talked a little bit more digital and so forth. Is that where we see the trend? Is screen printing going to be around 20 years? I mean, I know the answer. It's going nowhere. But yeah, what would you say, like, is the future of our industry if you had a crystal ball?
I think still personalization is a big trend. We're working behind this wall here. We have what we call our Skunkworks lab. It's a knockoff of the NASA Skunkworks name. And we're working on a product that's going to be launched in 2027, even 2028. So we have some idea where we want to go, right? And I would just say, you know, it's a fairly secure area. It's our engineers' playground, if you will. But there's lots of, you know, you hear the buzzwords, you know, artificial intelligence all the time. Well, it's real. And we're incorporating that into our technology and robotics, visual recognition systems. And, you know, again, it's more automation. That's our job, is to automate the process of decorating apparel. And you know, it's to further, you know, accelerate, you know, the automation piece of it, take a little bit of the element of variables that add, you bog down costs and speed and those types of things. So we're really, and we play in all those 4 platforms that we just talked about a few moments ago about how we're taking it to the next level. And screen print is a very big part of it. We're not putting that up on the shelf and saying that's cash cow business, that it's going to be there, you know, or that it's going to go away, so let's get all we can. We don't believe that for 1 second. It's going to just fall into its different place. And there will be new methods of technology or decorating apparel as well. We'll be in the midst of that as well.
When it comes to, if you were talking to somebody who was looking to get into the industry, and they're new, but they have a good market, they have some good relationships that they can tap immediately.
Sure.
What advice would you give them potentially? Maybe not as far as buying equipment, but just in general in our industry, when you're getting started, what are some of the things to really think about so you can be successful?
You know, look, I mean, it goes back to this: seek first to understand, ask lots of questions. As you mentioned, you know, the industry is fairly open, more so than many industries are. And talk to your peers, talk to your representatives, call M&R. You know, we'd be more than happy to answer questions and offer our advice and guidance on how to proceed. And there's been more than a few occasions where we said, you know, we're not the best at that. Let me connect you with someone else that can maybe help you in the category that you want to pursue. So first of all, have a dream. You decide what it is you want to be, and what markets you want to serve, what your passions are, and then ask a lot of questions. And then at some point, the opportunity has to intersect with the marketplace, right? So, you know, develop that sort of a plan, and then have the courage to act on what your dream is. And a lot of people get really close to the edge and they back away. You got to have the courage to fail on occasion too, and fail forward, as they say. That would be the advice. It's more of a mindset than it would be a recipe. If you really can dream it and you're passionate enough about it, you can bring it to life.
There's no perfect way to run a shop, right? It's going to come down to a lot of variables as far as your team, your location, your market. I'm asked all the time, what's the best way to use DecoNetwork software? And it's like, there's no best way. There's some good practices to start with, but really, the industry's so unique in the sense that there's a lot of ways we can make money and be successful. As far as we're in the showroom, right? I'm never going to put down trade shows, but I don't think they are what they once were. They're just different. M&R is an open book, right? Anybody can come here, see the equipment, learn about, hey, here are the different ways you can decorate apparel. What is your market? What are you typically decorating? What's your typical order size? And then direct them to that correct pillar that makes the most sense.
That's right. Well, yeah, we love doing that. That's one of the best things about the job. People coming in. This is our printer's playground. I mean, this showroom area has been enhanced quite a bit over the last several years, and we welcome customers to come in, or people that are aspiring to get into it. We want to be that source and that connect with those entry-level people, or people that are wanting to modify or adjust their ground game or their businesses to go into a different category. And so, we try to create, a playground for that. Again, I think there's a place for the trade shows, especially for a CapEx-heavy company like ours, so they can actually see the equipment when the show comes close geographically. But more and more often, we would rather have people come into our building. We can give them a more personalized experience. It works out better that way most often.
When it comes to automation, I'm seeing it, again, I see it at the screen print level heavily, DTF, XY cutters and so forth. I see a bagging machine over here. Yeah. Are you seeing more finishing and pre-press stuff being enhanced and invested in by shops compared to 10, 15 years ago?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. There's the opportunity to automate the processes. Again, it's not to put down the worker. You can't really replicate that, certainly not today. I know Elon Musk and others are building robots, and one day may be able to replace some of us in our roles, but at the moment, it's still a lot of manual processes. So wherever we can relieve that manual process a bit and automate it, whether it be screen reclamation, cleaning, bagging, folding systems, that technology is something that our customers still are very interested in and are demanding, and there's also advancements in that technology to automate that process even further, going forward in the next 18 months.
Apparel.
Yeah.
What got me in this industry is I had a good friend again who had his dad owned a business, and I knew, that's going to be a good client. I can get my feet wet. Our industry as a whole, one thing I worried about initially was competition. There's a lot of print shops and so forth.
Yeah.
Should a new shop ever fear competition, or is there enough work for everybody and you just need to find your niche or that market that you really excel at, that you can relate to and, I don't want to say exploit, but really tap into?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a great question. I don't know if I know the answer to that completely. I think it ebbs and flows. There are moments where supply outstrips demand, and then it's inverted on other times, right? Competition, someone you respect. I think you still need to know who you're competing with, and you need to know who you can trust. And in many cases, you don't want to give up the keys to the car or the castle too quickly. But it is, again, I believe this is a unique enough industry that we're more collaborative than we are threatening one another. And there's some really good people in this industry. These are, the best of the creative sorts, along with the engineering mindset. They come together, and there's a lot of sharing, a lot of good information that can be shared and can help each other out. So it's a pretty open industry by and large. But you still have to be careful. I'm always a little, we try to keep our secrets, somewhat tight until they're ready to be revealed. But in the industry, you're going to find somebody that can teach you a new print technique or new process if you're connected well enough to do so. It accelerates your growth quite a bit.
Something you mentioned that I completely agree with is support.
Yeah.
DecoNetwork, we make software, but it's the support that we take the most pride in, because just putting something in your hands doesn't mean that, hey, you're going to be successful. You need support when something breaks or you have an issue, or, hey, I'm struggling to do this. Yeah. So how does that work exactly here at M&R, and how big of a focus is it? Because I think a lot of it is learn about what the customer needs, make a recommendation, and then continues to support them, because their growth, their success is only going to lead to more purchases of equipment, consumables, and so forth.
That's true. I mean, you're going to build some loyalty along the way if you're providing the support structure. And again, I had the good fortune. Again, I inherited coming into this, this role, a company that was already committed to the technical service and support, part of the business. And so, it's critical. Something's going to happen at some point. A good example of that is DTF. You know, we've been in it for a few years now, and we've had a lot of success. But getting into it, we said, what do we have to do to become successful in that DTF space? And what's not happening currently? What niche can we really fulfill better than anyone else? And looking at it, where a lot of the complaints were with DTF, it's fairly inexpensive investment to get in it. But the problem is when things would go wrong, there really weren't support teams to support customers who were having bad times or running into challenges, and they were having to flip through manuals or try to sort it out through communications into Asia to get instructions on how to resolve this problem or that problem or print with the best practices. So we started with that. All right, what are the problems that are out there? We want to avoid those problems, but when they do occur, we need to have a life boat that basically can protect those customers or get these guys back up and running. And again, it's back to the core principles of M&R, just like DecoNetworks, is that it's about making sure that your customers are able to succeed after they're onto the platform and after they're running. You got to provide that backup support because it's a continuous process.
You mentioned the word problem. I like to say with like DecoNetwork, we don't have features, we have tools to solve your problems.
Yeah.
You know, you want to automate something, you want to be more efficient and so forth. We're going to create a feature that solves that specific problem. I look at every order a customer brings to me for my shop. Hey, I need this. To me, that's a problem that the customer's bringing to me to help them solve. Do you agree with that logic?
That's our job, to solve these problems. Somebody brings us a unique problem that we can help resolve. That's a market opportunity for us too. So it plays in both ways. This is why that ecosystem of communication and networking and contacts matters so much. You know, people will bring us ideas on, it would make my shop so much more efficient if we had something that could do this. And then our product management sinks their teeth into it. We get really excited about really good ideas. We try to make sure there's a market that supports that. We are a for-profit business, so we want to make sure there's something in it, right, down the road, but it's always fair. And then it ends up behind this wall in this lab, and they turn that idea into a real, product. And then we come out with it. And it's a lot of fun when those things happen and those gears mesh and it all works well together. Doesn't always, but more often than not, if we do our homework, it turns into a great device like some of the stuff you see behind me.
Danny's not kidding. There's definitely rooms around this manufacturing facility with a key code lock, and it's like, you're not getting in there. And that's what I love too.
Half the time,
I love the innovation because we're never done, right? I mean, we don't just stop at screen printing, which a lot of your M&R competition does. I mean, they're not innovating like M&R is constantly. Is that something that has always been a part of the company? Is it something that you've helped, push more and more?
It has absolutely been something that this company started with. And when Rich started the company, it was about building a better press and better support and service than the industry's ever seen, and it's really manifested into what you see today. My job is, again, the caretaker, make sure we're maintaining that same consistency, that belief system, and the curiosity about what's in front of us is something I've always had, and it fits really well in this organization. And we're always dreaming about what we can do better and what's different, and that's part of that creative process. Again, we have the creative sorts and we have the engineers. They come together in Roselle, Illinois to make the best products the industry's ever seen. And there's more of that to come. We're not going to let that die. We'll never take that for granted.
And we're only like half an hour, 45 minutes from Chicago?
Yeah, we're about 20 minutes west of O'Hare International Airport. So we're really just in the burbs just outside of Chicago, center point of the United States, easy enough to get in and out of. It's a great place. You come in the summer, it's some of the best weather you've ever seen, and you're always welcome here. So we'd like to encourage any of our customers or people who are curious about the company. We are an open book in this part of the facility, and we'd welcome anyone to come and spend some time with us. We'd love that.
And I know you've got some great customers even in the local area. I mean, one of my favorite people in the industry by far is Pete Bolsoni at Same Day Tees.
Yeah, he's a classy dude.
It's a fun to walk through his shop because he does have a gauntlet of presses, ironically. He has a Polaris, he has a digital squeegee, and one thing he's able to do is be a one-stop shop himself. Now, not everybody has that ability, like same-day tees,
Right.
to create that operation and so forth. How important do you think it is to be a one-stop shop? Doesn't mean you have to do all the decoration yourself, but you don't always want to be telling your customer, no, sorry, I can't do that, because you're going to give somebody else sometimes the opportunity to grab all that business.
Well, first of all, I share your enthusiasm for Pete Balsani and the guys at Same Day Tees. They're a great customer. You know, we've learned a lot from Pete. He's offered us a lot of good advice, and we've made adjustments to that, and he's local just down the road.
Same with us. We mold our software to Pete. That's how great he is.
He's a really good businessman. He's got a great story. We enjoy it, and we love seeing him when he comes by here, or when we see him at trade shows, or when we go to his facility. So he's a really good guy, and he does run a pretty complex organization, because he's trying to handle all these different categories and different types of customers, and he's still able to maintain a level of excellence that's really hard to match. So it's very good stuff. We have lots of customers that are similar in that respect.
Yep.
And to answer your question again, back to specialization. Some people do it that way, and they're very successful, and they're known for being best in class in these categories. And then you got other people that can go left, right, up, down, and Pete's kind of in that category. He can do so many different things. Very nimble, very versatile in the way he runs his business. I think it depends on what your business model is and what you'd like to do. But you can do many things, but in some cases, it wouldn't be recommended for everybody to try to be everything at one time. That could be a challenge too.
Our customer does not care though if we outsource something, right? I think that's something, for a while we thought we have to do it ourselves or a customer's not going to be happy. That's not an issue, right?
No, I think your responsibility is to ensure that the quality that's coming out with your name on that, is exactly the standard that you would make if you made it yourself. But finding someone that can do this at a better pace, in some cases outsourcing those processes, that's again, you want to make sure that you're ensuring that the right partners, they do the right things, and the quality meets your standard of excellence. But outsourcing is something that is often done, and we do it as well. I mean, a lot of our technology on the digital space does emanate from different places, and we do a lot of the engineering behind that as well, and incorporate that to make it a classic M&R device. But we have to rely on partners in our world, and I know our customers have to do similarly.
Well, I like to think that we provide a service as apparel decorators or just promo distributors even.
Yeah.
We provide a service to our customer. They come to us with a problem, we solve it, but we might be leaning on a contract decorator or somebody else to be helping it. It just happens to be tied to a product. Do you have a little bit of the same mentality with the equipment that, it's a physical thing, but it's really the service that goes along with it that is what makes the product worth buying?
Oh, for sure. I mean, again, it is the backup support you have behind it, and more so than ever, I think, as you see more of the digital technologies incorporated in it. We're now in the business of ink. In the past, we'd sell a automatic screen printing press. It's kind of open source. The ink that would go in that would come from another ink provider, whether it be an Avian or International Coatings or whomever. And we would try to work in concert with them. We still do on the screen print platforms. But in the digital category, we have to control or work with, whether it be film or inks or powders and DTF or pre-treat. And so we align ourselves with very strong partners that we collaborate on. And when we put that M&R logo on it and it goes out the door, it's got to meet our standard of excellence. And so we spend an awful lot of time testing and validating and doing QC work on programs that we've had to collaborate with others on the outside, bringing it in.
Guys, we visit a lot of shops. If you watch our YouTube channel, we do a lot of shop tours, and I'm telling you, I can confidently say this, Danny, I'm not trying to pump you up. M&R, it is really loved by those who have bought it. Someone like Pete, what I love too is that talk to a shop owner who has the equipment, or if you're in the Chicago area and you come here, go hit up Pete. He'll let you in, and he'll also give you that unbiased opinion of, hey, this is why you want to work with the guys. Is there anything, other takeaways, Danny, that you'd like to share to our audience of, hey, this is what we do at M&R that makes us different, and why you should consider us anytime you're looking for that next piece of apparel printing equipment?
Well, yeah, lots of reasons. Obviously, very biased and gonna, but I'll speak to the M&R strengths because I was affiliated with M&R for many years before I joined the company. So I've seen it over decades really evolve into what it's grown to, and making sure that we maintain that culture and that. But the thing that has always sold M&R on, for many, is you've got a robust piece of equipment that's going to, its lifespan usually lasts many years, if not decades.
Decades.
I've got many customers who've got more than 20 years, and that machine is still running. And you start checking the number of impressions that machine is, produced over years, and it's in many cases 20 million, 25 million impressions on an M&R device, and it's still running today. So it lasts. We have a robust piece of equipment. That's not a guarantee that it will. You have to maintain it. You have to do the right things, but that's not an uncommon thing. Our devices last, and then again, the service support behind that. So if you ask the question, why M&R? Great engineering, great service and support, and a belief system the people embrace that's going to propel us well into the next, decades going forward. We'll make another 40 years. We'll be making devices that decorate apparel. You can count on that.
Danny, I really appreciate you guys inviting us in. I appreciate everything M&R's done at the trade shows. First impressions are a big thing, and M&R open hands before they knew DecoNetwork was, or really anybody. I just really love the first interactions. Everybody on the team is awesome. Cody, Maggie, Zach, I know Peter recently retired. Everybody here in M&R, guys, the equipment, the people, everything speaks for itself. Whether you're looking to buy screen printing, digital squeegee, DTG or DTF, you need to be coming here to M&R's facility. Check it out for yourself. Talk to other M&R customers, because it's quality, and you're going to have a lot less problems when you buy premium versus trying to save just a little bit of money. Sometimes you get what you pay for. Danny, thank you again so much for letting us come.
Exactly.
Danny, where can our viewers go to learn more about your equipment?
Well, you can go to hit our website. You can, and we have a number of distributors throughout the world, for that matter. We're not just a North American-based company, and they've got great representatives. And or you contact M&R directly, and we'll be more than happy to connect you with the right channels to connect with if you're interested in equipment. And I would encourage you all to go blue.
Go blue.
All right. Thanks, Zach.
Thank you.
All right.